Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the course on squeezes. I want to do one last hand with you on the type of squeeze that we've identified so far, which is the automatic squeeze, which has two entries in the same hand, and that the central suit is made up of ace, king, and another. And I realised after I thought about last week's class that I hadn't quite done as well as I wanted last week because we're looking for this sort of squeeze, we've had to extend our 5-point plan, which works so well when we have simple squeezes, into a 6-point plan where we not only look for the threats but also look for a possible central suit. And as a rule, you then have to go and make a choice, and the choice is the extra step as well as the additional difficulty. And I don't think I really emphasize that enough, because there is a choice. So hopefully the example I've got here will sort of show that there is a choice, and then we'll actually, it's amazing. It's going to, yet again, we're going to choose the double squeeze, but not always is the trouble. So that's why you really do have to consider your alternative options. Anyway, this apparently is Benjamin's Echo, which means it's probably a real hand that I played many years in the past. In Benjamin's Echo, the 2-club bid is used to show a very strong hand, but not absolutely game forcing. So the next person double this, which since 2 clubs is artificial, I should have alerted it, but I'm telling you what it means. So should I put alerted? No, you can see it. Okay, so the double is then a double of a conventional bid shows that suit and invites partner to bid in it. The normal thing that a double, the partner of a Benjamin player does is simply to pass or bid 2 diamonds, because the essence of these hands is that normally partner has a very strong 6-card suit, and you wish to learn what his suit is. You then have a fair idea he's got something of the order of a 19 count, 20 count, maybe 18, and the North player is then in charge of where we're going to go to, because the system is describing a very particular type of hand. So in the system I was playing at the time, a jump bid showed a 7-card suit, but still non-game forcing, merely expressing a hand that was just too strong to go 1 spade, 3 spades. And this excited my partner. I actually think he went into Blackwood, but I don't want to keep you hanging around. He went with 6 spades. So the lead was a bit of a disappointment to me at the time. It was the ace of spades. I would much preferred him to lead the club suit that he advertised. And it's a dire lead for me, because, of course, once I saw dummy, would be hoping to ruff my losing club. And this lead has rather taken away that option. So I follow suit on the first 2 rounds. Due diligence has to come in at some point. So I've got 1 trick in the bag. I've got 5 more spade tricks to come. That's 6. Ace king of hearts for 8. Ace king of diamonds for 10. And the ace of clubs for 11. So I'm 1 trick short. And the normal thing is to say, where can I get an extra trick from? And really, now they've taken away my club ruff, I could try roughing out the hearts, but I'm short of entries. Almost certainly I've got to go ace, king, ruff a heart, cross on a diamond, ruff a heart to set it up. I've got no way to get back and finish it. So that leaves the diamonds, and of course I could play to drop the queen, but normally the finesse is the heavy percentage. But the last thing you should always do is, in these sorts of situations, is to say, is there a possibility of a squeeze? So let's go looking for threats. Well, I don't have a threat in hearts. I suppose I would have one if I played ace king and ruffed a heart. Then somebody would have to go and guard the heart suit. I do have a threat in diamonds. However they break, only one person will be able to guard the third round, whether it's the queen or not. So I could use the 8 of diamonds as a threat or the jack of diamonds as a threat. And then I've got, of course, my queen of clubs. So these are the sorts of problems that you've got to do. Already, you see, you're starting to say, well, I might go looking for, if I rough the heart out, I could go for a club heart squeeze, or maybe I could go for a diamond club squeeze or a diamond heart squeeze, or so many options are available to you. And finally, you should go, of course, looking for a double squeeze, and you will be delighted when you see it because, of course, you've got a threat in clubs, a threat in the diamond suit, so that's 2 threats, which at the moment have entries with them, but opposite is that golden combination of ace, king, and another in the heart suit, so that will make a perfectly adequate central suit, a double entry, and an irritant card that we can set up. So you have to go and choose then between these squeezes. And if the bidding has indicated, sometimes the early play of the cards indicates who's got what. All I know here is that West almost certainly has the king of clubs for his double, and almost certainly has length in clubs. So I can't play him for a club heart squeeze because I have to play ace king or rough. Oh, I could play ace king of hearts, cash all my spades, crossing diamonds, and I'd have the 5 of clubs as an entry back to my ace queen. So I could do a heart club squeeze on him. In the same way, I could do a diamond club squeeze on him. I'm fairly sure he's got the clubs. So again, fairly easy to set a squeeze up here. I would just set up the 8 of diamonds as my threat card, end up in dummy with the 5 of clubs to cross to the ace queen, and the last diamond to squeeze him. But of course, squeezes, simple squeezes, are by their nature less than 50%. So since one of my choices is the double squeeze requires that the threats are split. And since I'm expecting West to have the length in the clubs, I would be expecting East to have the length in the diamonds and the length in the heart suit. So rather than go for the simple squeeze, this is where I make my choice in the what am I going to do. All of my previous work has given me a lot of squeezes I could try for, but the new theory says I've now got another one, and if I have no information that says West has got the clubs and he's got the diamonds, so that looks like now a simple squeeze. He's got him promised 5-5 in clubs and diamonds. Almost certainly now I should have been doing the simple squeeze. Here, all I know is he's got the clubs. I should be playing his partner for the opposite. So that's when I choose to go and do the double squeeze. So for this double squeeze, I want 2 single threats in one hand. Obviously, that's my hand. I've already got the queen of clubs. So I'm going to set up the jack of diamonds as a threat against East. The 9 of hearts is my entry to my central suit on the other side. And it's just a matter of setting up all my single threats and then playing off my spade suit. Of course, if this works, I could have just taken the diamond finesse. But whenever you have a squeeze where the finesse card is one of your threat cards, you should always go for the squeeze because those squeezes are also show-up squeezes. So here we would naturally go and play to the ace of diamonds, and then a diamond back, ignoring the finesse to go and set up our threat card. And at that point, we find we don't have to do anything else because it turned out it was a show-up squeeze. Let me show you all the full hand, and I'll actually carry on playing it just a little to show the squeeze would have worked. So if I do, that's wrong. I wish I had this taped. Teaching options, maybe? Yes, okay. So if I show you all the hands, I've already made the contract, but imagine that 10 of diamonds was the queen of diamonds. Basically, I'm going to play off my ace of clubs, and then I just start playing millions of spades. And you can see now this would be the squeeze position, because West has to go and hang on to the last club on the left-hand side. So there goes the guard of the central suit. And likewise, East, that 10 of diamonds is really the queen of diamonds. He would have to hang on to, or she would have to hang on to the queen of diamonds. Again, the central suit gets unguarded, and so I'd be away. So I say, really, in the previous examples, although I was showing the squeeze off, I really wasn't giving enough emphasis about the fact that sooner or later you will be choosing one of the simple squeezes. There'll be some information that suggests somebody does have one suit and another suit, and then the simple suit squeeze is the one to go for. And you normally will have a choice about this. However, if all you know is that one player guards something, then the odds are that the other player guards the whatever other suit. You see, even here, East had 3 diamonds, West had 2. East was more likely to have the queen of diamonds in the ratio of 2 to 3. And it could have been even more. It could have been that East had 4 diamonds to compensate for the fact that West had a long suit. Okay, well, let me put up another hand and I will start telling you more interesting things about squeezes. So, go to my account, go to board 12, and send that to the table. I better keep it a secret then. There we go. So send it to the table. There we go. Okay, and I'm about to move on to the second of the 3 types of double squeeze. So this one is not too different from the last one. All of these double squeezes can be thought of as rescue situations for when a simple squeeze doesn't work. And then from there we jump to but wait a bit, we could use that squeeze even if the simple squeezes were working, it just becomes a choice. So this one still has 2 isolated threats in the same hand. So how do I get another squeeze out of that? Well, let me go over the things I stated to you at the time. I said we've got 2 simple threats, 2 single threats without entries, so a normal squeeze isn't going to work. What do we need? I said, well, we certainly need at least ace, doubled ace, and another card on the other side of the table. The ace to be an entry, and the extra card, the irritant, to be a potential trick. And in my hand, I will need a communication card so I can cross over to it. So that sounds okay, doesn't it? Then I said we need to reach threats. I've got 2 single threats. The only way to do that, I said, was to be in the hand with the threats ready to cash them. We've got to have the squeeze card in the hand with the 2 threats. And we all said, well, that sounds pretty good as well. And lastly, we said, and the last thing I need, this is a 4-card ending, I need 3 winners. It's not enough to have ace and an irritant. We've got to have ace, king, and an irritant. So we have 3 winners, and then 3 winners at the 4-card ending. We have our squeeze position. And of course, you also need the threats, the guards to be split so that the squeeze actually works. But okay, we need the guards to be, that's a 4th condition there. We need the guards to be split so that each one looks after a guard in our threat suits, and then magically the central suit becomes a winner. So which one of these statements was incorrect? And the answer is It was the second one. That is the one where I lied to you, or at least temporarily led you astray in your innocence. You see, yes, you don't have any entries to reach your single threats, but there is a way you can get to them. And the way that you can do this is to break up the central suit. So instead of having ace, king, and the irritant all in one hand, that is like if we have our threats in declarer's hand, the central suit has to be in the dummy's hand. Instead of having ace, king, and another all in that hand, we'll break it up so we have ace and two small cards in the dummy, and in our own hand we'll put king and another card. Now we've still got this extended central suit. It's just that it's not a double entry suit anymore. We've got the ace in one hand, the king in the other, but for all that we're going to do king, ace, and another, hoping to set up the third card for our extra trick in the double squeeze. But the difference is that because I put the king in my own hand, I have now got a way of reaching my hand to cash either of my two threat cards. So the last thing then I need, because now I've got four cards in my hand, I've got one threat, another threat, the king of the central suit, and another card to cross over to my partner's hand. I've already used up four cards. I have to have the squeeze card in dummy with the ace small of the central suit. So it's a fairly rigid structure. Again, two threats in my hand and either ace doubleton or king doubleton, and in the opposite hand the squeeze card and the main part of the central suit, ace small, which I hope to set up as a winner. And now it's going to work because I cash my squeeze card in dummy. The opponents go and hang on to, like grim death there, the guards of my threat suits. And so now I just play across to my king, back to my ace, and cash my magic winner as my... Yes, because I'm talking in general here, Kathy. So it's the principle of the squeeze card has to be in dummy. I have to have an entry and then back again to the other hand. And sorry to do, really, if only, I mean, when I did the individual videos, I was able to use not Excel, the PowerPoint thing to go and actually sort of show the thing in practice. But to give a whole hand just distracts from because if I give you the whole hand, you'll see hundreds of cards, and that will be just as bad as seeing no cards at all. You will do an example soon, and you'll see it all. There's one last thing that's bad about this squeeze, though. Here we are with ace small in the dummy and the squeeze. We play the squeeze card. East hangs on to his guard. As East will be playing second there. And I must throw away my threat in the card that East has kept guarded. My threat in that suit is no longer needed. And the bad news is, of course, that means I've got to know who is looking after what. If I'm doing this entirely blind, East throws away a card, but can I be sure that East is guarding suit A or is still guarding suit B? So it's not the most desirable of squeezes, because if you haven't worked out from earlier play who's doing what, you do have to make a guess at the crucial squeeze stage about which card has been kept. Okay, so let's try it with this particular hand. And I don't know why West is the dealer here. That looks like I failed to change things. Okay, this is a contract of 7 no trump. I'm not interested in their bidding to my knowledge, so I am going to bid 7 no trump to get us to the final contract. And the lead is the 6 of hearts. So I do my normal due diligence here. I seem to have 4 heart tricks, and I have 3 spade tricks for 7, and 2 clubs for 9, and ace, king, queen of diamonds. I have 12 tricks. Excellent news. Where do I go for additional tricks? Well, the 4th diamond might set up. That would be nice. And the clubs, spades might set up. That would be nice as well. And if they don't set up, then I would have threat cards in spades and diamonds, and I would be able to perhaps execute some sort of a squeeze, play off all my winners and come down to a squeeze position. If we only knew about simple squeezes, that's what we should do. So we would play off, let's say, the diamond suit to set up a threat card with the diamond, then play off all our winners in the south hand, and come down to a position where we're squeezing West if he not only controls the diamond suit, but also controls the spade suit. That improves our chances above a simple 3-3 break in the others. But now that we know about the double squeezes as well, we say, well, I'm going to have 2 threats in spades and diamonds, so is there a central suit that I could use to each of them, perhaps one of them guarding the diamonds, one of them guarding the spades, and then neither able to keep this 3rd suit? And yes, there is. It's the club suit, of course. Hearts is just a free suit made up of total winners. Diamonds and spades are our threat suits, and this is a split entry central suit because we don't have the ace king small that we're going to identify and love, but we do have the ace in one hand and the king in the other. So either the north hand or the south hand at first sight could be used as to set up a double squeeze with that as the split entry central suit. So now let's go into general theory. The general theory says that for this split entry one, I have to have 2 single threats in the same hand. So presumably those will be the diamond and the spade. So I would need to set those up. I will need to keep only a doubleton in that hand with them. So ideally we come down to just ace and the 8 of clubs in the dummy, and our hand should be made up of the real central suit, the extended, the 3 card, king, 10 and another, the one that we hope becomes the winner, and of course the free suit, the heart suit, which we intend to run. We have to have the squeeze card with the 3 card central suit. So once you see what's required, it's fairly easy to actually implement this squeeze. We will almost be doing the natural thing anyway, because I do want to know if I have winners already in the diamond or the spade suit. So let's play these suits and find out. There we go. And a diamond, and come on, break, break, break. No. Okay. So I don't have a diamond winner. I do have a diamond threat against East. Okay. Now let's see how the spades are breaking then. So once again, I play to my Queen of Spades and back. Interesting. Okay, and do they break? And no, they don't break either. So I'm getting now very close to my classic position. You see, I've come down to the 2 single threats in dummy. I've still got an entry with the ace of clubs in the central suit. Now I've got to go and run my winners in the free suit to complete the squeeze. So overtake to be in the right hand. And this is not yet the squeeze card. All I'm doing is everybody's just following this is now going to be my squeeze card. So when I play that, West is going to be forced to keep a guard in one of the threat suits. East is going to be forced to keep a guard in another threat suit. And this time, I'm delighted to see that I have no problems working out which guard they're keeping. Because I've cached almost everything in the pointed suits, I know the West are keeping spades. I know that East is keeping diamonds. So let's actually see it. Go show all the hands. As I play the threat card, I know that West is keeping the spade, so it must be the spade that I throw, because that spade threat has done its job, but the 9 of diamonds is still needed as a threat against the East card. That's why it's important to know who is keeping what. I know that East is keeping the spade, therefore I can throw my spade threat. It is important, though, that I keep the diamond threat. And because I've kept it, East also has to go on guard in the central suit, and I'm away in my end game. I now play the entry across. 9 of diamonds is not good. Come back to my hand. And, of course, because they were both busy keeping guards against the threats, nobody was able to keep the last one. So that's the new squeeze that I've got for you, and I've only got one more example, which I'll put up in a second for you to do. I'll just mention something here. When I started doing this, I had a fair number of squeezes written down in my notes somewhere, because when many years ago when I first read Love's book, as I mentioned, I don't like his classification, but I found his book wonderful at the time, not because I followed anything he said, but because he had so many wonderful examples. I could do the examples and work out what was going on. And then I started to make a record of my own hands. So I had quite a lot of hands with squeezes, and then I lost interest. But when I started to do the course, I thought, I'll look up some more hands to give extra examples. And the natural way to do that is to actually pick on one of your friends who you know plays hundreds of hands every week, and bring up their hands and just go through them. All you want is hundreds of hands. Look for the hands where people have bid slams and either made them or gone off, or bid 4 spades and made 6 spades. Those sorts of hands, because they have so many high cards in them, will often have a squeeze embedded in them. And I found quite a lot of squeezes. The thing that I was amazed about was I didn't find any of this type of squeeze. This one where there's this split entry in the central suit with one entry, one hand, 2 things. I found others. I found the third type that we haven't done, and I did find not very many of the type we've done where it's 2 threats in the same hand and an ace king small central threat. So I concluded actually that this sort of squeeze must be relatively rare for some reason. But I suppose I could have just invented some, but the way I was doing it, I only got this one other example. And this other example was from a magazine that I was reading. So here we go. Let me send that to the table. And it was, believe it or not, a British magazine in 1976. They were old ones. Before I bidden them, I thought, I'll just have a look through and see if there's anything interesting. So export that to the table. And I'll leave the table. And this is really easy to do. So come on, somebody, have a go. This honestly is an easy squeeze to actually do. But I do need a volunteer to actually do it. Welcome, Ken. Do you want to check your microphone?
hear me?
Oh, yeah, excellent. Well done. Okay, that's
All
great.
right.
Okay.
Now,
Now,
back to your hand now.
no, okay. The magazine didn't give the bidding, but it did give the following. You own 2 clubs strong, so again, I don't seem to have put the deal in the right place. Sorry about that. So, okay, you open the bidding with 2 clubs.
Should I do that? All right.
Yep, yeah, do that, right? And they said West overcalled in diamonds, so 2 diamonds. And I have no idea what your partner did, but East overcalled in hearts. Again, they don't say whether it's 2 hearts, 3 hearts.
Suppose I bid 3 clubs.
And you bid on, and you reach a contract of 6 clubs.
6 clubs. All right.
Let me just check that. Contract is 6 clubs. Okay then. So off you go to 6 clubs, and the point about the bidding was, of course, that you now know that West has got a long diamond suit, and East has got a long heart suit. Okay. But that's all the magazine told me. Now, the lead was the King of Diamonds, so easy so far.
Okay. Well, if we're going to do this thinking stuff, I imagine I'm supposed to.
I approve of thinking stuff. In fairness, as somebody who used to be a university lecturer,
Anyway, that
I definitely approve of.
A heart.
Yep.
And 2 spades. That sounds like 11 tricks. And
Yeah,
I guess I'm going to run a squeeze.
And you're about to lose your necessary trick for a squeeze to take place. Right. Okay. So he now tries to set you by giving his partner a diamond ruff.
Great. Well, what did we have here in the first round here? King 5. The king and the queen are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I suppose we shall. I don't see any reason to put up the 10, so we'll.
I'm not sure it'd be of any use in there. So
okay.
Looks like Queen
And,
Jack.
we'll rush that with the 6.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
And yep, go on, make a plan for me.
I imagine that I'm going to play East for the King of Hearts, and I'm going to play West for the Ace of Diamonds. If I do that, they're going to have trouble saving spades.
You are so right. And these are single threats because you've got no entry to the diamond and no entry to the heart. So you have to ask yourself,
I got that King of Spades over there, and that's going to be useful.
And that's going to be the entry in the central suit. So you should technically, although it actually doesn't matter, technically rough another diamond just to be absolutely sure.
I suppose that's right, yes.
Just in case they're funning you here. But otherwise, you've certainly got the hang of what we're attempting to do here. And they weren't funning. It was already a threat for you. Good. Style points. Yay! Okay, right. And now you're off with the squeeze. So,
okay, now, do you want me to play it out? I see what I'm going to do.
Well, I don't know. I think so, because I don't know that everybody can see it. But
you got to cash the Ace of Hearts.
Yep, that's certainly the natural. If you didn't, always cashing a card in the threat suit just produces a non-simultaneous squeeze.
And then I'm going to run 4 clubs.
And then you're going to run all the clubs. You're absolutely
I'm going to run 4 clubs first, showing a club and 2 small hearts and 1 small spade. And then the last club will be the squeeze card, squeezing West in
You should be coming to my course. You should be giving my course.
So on.
Off you go. Go on, let's play through it quickly.
Okay, should I just play?
Well, no, I don't know that everybody else can see it as clearly as you, so let's just play it through. We're now cashing all our winners. Oh, no, you're in charge of dummy. I'll keep the King of Hearts. Right. Okay, I'll throw diamonds until I can get... okay. Yep. And up to this point, everybody's had a good time. I'll let everybody in, you as well, so you can see the.
Okay, now we do this.
So show all that.
He's got to hold the Ace of Diamonds, whatever that top.
Right. So he'll definitely throw a spade, and now the card you don't need is
the 10 of Diamonds.
The 10 of Diamonds. So that goes, and now East, of course, still got to hold on to the King of Hearts because you're Queen, so he throws that one, and suddenly you're on the home run. And now I think you probably can play, because surely everybody can see all the hands, and they can see the king of spades, the ace of spades, and the nut of spades. So. Well, I said it would be easy. Was I lying to you, Ken?
What did you say?
I said, I told you it would be easy. Was I lying to you, or was I telling you the truth?
That was fairly easy, yeah.
Yeah, I think that one was an easy one, yeah. So, but alas, I've got no others of this particular type. So unless I...
Okay, I'm going to mute again now, right?
I think so, yes. And I've got things to tell people as well, because we now move on to the third type of squeeze. So if you want to leave, I will chat for ages and ages, and then get back to everyone. But leave the table, join the convincers, and then I'll be on to the next description. You need to click your name, Ken, then, to leave the table. Actually, they'd have to, yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay. So, we're now going to move on to our last squeeze, double squeeze position. And again, I'm going to introduce this to you on the basis of, can we rescue a failed simple squeeze? Now, the failed simple squeeze, they were failing because we had two threats, neither of them had an entry. And I said, can we rescue those? And let's start by assuming that both of the threats are in the same hand. And that's how we discovered these two squeeze positions. One where we got a third suit of ace king small, and the second one where we had a split central suit of ace small small opposite king double turn or reverse the ace king. But now I'm going to say, well, what about the situation where I have two single threats? The squeeze isn't going to work. Simple squeezes never work without an entry somewhere. But this time, I want them to be split. So dummy has got one of the threats, and I have the other threat. Declarer. So, can I rescue this situation? Well, let's go through the things I'm going to need. Once again, I won't be able to do it with just threats, because without entries, they're useless. So I need a third suit, which does have an entry, and that also has to have a card that I might be able to turn into a winner. So the situation is symmetrical at the moment. One hand must have ace and another as my central suit, the one I hope to set a winner up in, and the other hand must have a communication card. That's the least I can ask for. Let's place the ace and another central suit in the north hand with the threat there, and let's place in my hand my threat and the communication card. I also need a squeeze card, and I think fairly clearly, if north has got three cards used up, ace and another central suit and the threat, me in my south hand, I've only got two cards used up. I've got my communication card and my threat. I want to have the squeeze card in my hand opposite the ace doubleton of the central suit. And if I now count up my winners, I'm fine. I seem to have one winner with the squeeze card, one winner in the central suit, that ace doubleton on the other side of the table, and I've got three cards in either hand. I have the count here for a squeeze to take place. So this is the position for the third squeeze. I have threat, communication card, and squeeze card, and dummy has the main part of the central suit, ace and another, ace and irritant, and another threat card. Principle, just the same as all the other double squeezes. You hope that the guards against the single threats are split. It's no good having a busy player. The busy player will be have to do a bit of work to work out which card to keep. But because you have no entries, you can't bring him under pressure. But he will be able to look after the threat cards, and the other person will be able to look after the central suit. So you do not want a busy player. You want nice, relaxed players, one of them looking after the something suit, the other one looking after the other something suit. Neither of them, when it comes to the crunch moment, having to look after the central suit because they're so busy hanging onto their guard in the suits where we have threats. And we play off our squeeze card, and then what happens? Well, what happens when we play off our squeeze card is the bad news. Dummy is about to get squeezed because Dummy has a threat, which I'd love to keep, and Dummy has Ace and another card, which I want the entry of the Ace, and I want to keep the small card so it becomes a trick. I can't afford to throw anything away from Dummy when I play off my squeeze card. So that means for the squeeze to work, it's positional. It's only going to work if the guards are the right way round for my threats. And being specific, they learn this as a general rule for the double squeeze with split threats. The threat you own must lie over the guards. You'll find that if one of them is over, the other one is over because the guards are split, because your threats are split. If one of the threats is over the guard, the other one will automatically be over the guard. But you want basically both of your threats to be over. So what happens is we play off our threat card, and West has to follow first before Dummy makes this crucial decision. Now, if West has the guard for the threat in Dummy, that is what we want, because West will be forced to keep the guard and unguard the central suit. Lovely. My threat in Dummy has now done its job. I can throw it away and wait for East to make his decision, because I've still got my threat, and East is going to have to hang on to his guard against my threat. So East is going to have to unguard the central suit as well. And so, magically, as always in the double squeeze, you seem to start with Ace 2 of something in one hand and the 3 in the other. You cross to the Ace, and however humble that small card was, it has become a winner because the opponents have been squeezed out of their joint control of that suit in order to keep control of the threat suit. But it is positional. If the guards were the other way around, West, when you go and lead your squeeze card, will definitely unguard the central suit, but you've got to hang on to now literally, because you need that squeeze card in Dummy and you need the central suit in Dummy. You end up having to make an impossible choice before East has to make a crucial decision on that side. So the double squeeze with split threats is, to some extent, I certainly found several of them, so I think they occur fairly frequently, but they are limited by this fact that they are only going to work when your threats lie over the guards, so that at the positional moment, whatever West keeps, you can now throw that guard from Dummy and finish the squeeze off. So this is hand, I think this is still the last hand. So let's move on to one while I work through this with you. So let's go back to the table. Okay. And this looks like a real hand in it. It says it's match points, and most of my match points hands were ones that I played and then wrote them down afterwards as something of interest. So let's see what happens here. It says it's a 3 no-trump contract. So again, I haven't altered the dealer, so that's... I just meant to be that I just bid 3 no-trump.
We can see all the cards.
Thank you. I forgot to alter the. Okay. Thank you, Adam. Okay, so it's a 3 no-trump contract, and I'm sorry I started the deal in the wrong place, but there we go. And the lead was the spade 7, which, when you see the hand afterwards, you'll say, why on earth did you lead the hand 7? It's because the bidding was something like 1 no-trump, 3 no-trumps, and West decided that since North hadn't tried for a major, it was likely that his partner had a major, and he decided to lead a major, hoping to find his partner's suit. You can also see it was a bit risky for him to lead one of his minors, which might have been more natural. You'll see this at the end. Anyway, so here we go with our lead, and of course we will just, put the 8 in. That seems the natural thing to do. And then he switched to a diamond. Well, that's not a problem. Queen, encourage them to play diamonds, maybe. And no, it's worked out what his partner has from that jack. And East, without any to do, then just plays another spade back to set up his king of spades, because West had led from a doubleton and the East had king, queen, jack to 4. And so West discarded on the spade 2, and I've run out of instructions to myself here. So I would imagine he'd probably just discard a club at this stage. Okay. Right, here I am then in my contract. Won my first trick. I've got 4 hearts, 7, ace, king of clubs, that's 9, 2 diamonds. Is that 2 diamonds? Oh, I miscounted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, 8, 9. I think. Let me start again. I have 1 trick already. I have 4 hearts, that's 5. I have ace, king of clubs for 7. I have a winning diamond and a winning diamond for 9. I'm definitely going to make my contract. I've lost 3 tricks, and I'd like another trick because I'm playing match points, and as you probably know, if you play match points, making 3 no trump scores somewhere around 50%, and making 3 no trump with an over trick scores somewhere around 75% or 80%. So the over tricks are life or death for us. So where can I get an extra trick? Well, I suppose the 10 of diamonds could drop. Otherwise, I don't really have any other natural plays for winners. Do I have any squeeze opportunities? Well, yes, if the diamonds aren't breaking, or the 10 dropping rather, the 9 of diamonds would certainly be a threat, and the 10 of spades would be a threat as well. So quite possibly what I should do is find out whether they're breaking, because I would have to go and clear these suits anyway. So let's go and find out what's going on. Diamond, and let's cross over on the suit here, the king, and play off my king of diamonds. And I have to keep my winners, so I'm going to throw that. And no, it doesn't break. And now I have only my squeeze left, because there's no natural way to make a trick. But hey, I have a threat of the 10 of spades. It's over the guard. East is hanging onto the guard. I have a threat in diamonds, the 9 of diamonds. It's over the 10 of diamonds, which is being held by West. So my threats are over the guard. They're in separate hands. So this is a squeeze where I only need ace and another, or in this case, I think it's going to be king and another, in order for the squeeze to actually win. I've got an extra winner in the club suit, but as you all know, having extended winners in any threat suit never makes any problem. Yes, there's another card out, but they have to go and keep an extra card as well, so it never alters whether the squeeze is going to take effect or not. So ideally, to make it absolutely pure, I'd just have the king and the 9 of clubs as. In fact, I could turn this into a pure squeeze. I think if I come back to hand with the club, then I will have set this up for a pure squeeze. I've got all these cards I can play off in hand. I've got 1 threat card of the 10 of spades. I've got 1 threat card of the 9 of diamonds there over it. And my central suit, this time all I need is winner and an irritant, the king of clubs and the 9 of clubs, and a communication card, the 10 of clubs, so I can get over. So I play off my free suit. I play off my free suit. And then finally, this is going to be the squeeze card, win. And as usual, I'll let you join in the fun. So let's show all the hands. West is holding on to the 10 of diamonds. Must hold on to the 10 of diamonds. West has to go and unguard the central suit. The 9 of diamonds has done its job. That's why it's so important that this was in the right position. It's the 9 of diamonds I want to be able to throw away, and I can. But I've still got my threat card of the 10 of spades. East can't unguard the spades. East, in turn, is forced to release a card in the central suit. And then the ultimate magic, I tell you, when you do these squeezes for the first time, it feels so, it's better still when the 9 of clubs is the 2 of clubs. You just feel so good at having produced a winner out of almost nowhere. And I say, especially these things, I mean, they make an imp difference if you do them playing imp scoring. Normally an overtrick is worth an imp. But when it's match points, it really makes a huge difference of whether you're getting a below average, average, or a really significantly above average score. So, well worth learning squeezes for doing that. Now, am I allowed to go over and let somebody do one more hand at them?
Yeah, no problem. No problem. We've gone about 55 minutes, but that's fine if you want to do one more.
Well, okay. Let's send one to the table. Oh, I know. I'll make it invisible. Deals, teach you options. South there. Okay, send it to the table. And I leave the table, and somebody can come and join us to have a go at playing one of these squeezes. And I can't remember this one, so I don't know whether it's easy or not. I'm sure it's easy. Come on, join us and have a go. Well, perhaps we will run out of time, Adam.
I hope not. Someone will come.
Soon, preferably. Hi, Cookie. Do you want to check your microphone?
Hi, Alan. Can you hear me?
Yes, that's lovely. That's fine. Okay, this is a contract of 6-note trump. Sorry about that, but something wrong with me. So, if you could bid 6-note trump for me, and I will do several passes, and they will start to lead. Okay. So, how many tricks can you see?
Yeah, I have 2 tricks in spades. I can get 3 in hearts. That's 5. And I have 4 in clubs. That is 9. And I have ace king in diamonds. So that makes it 11 tricks. I'm short 1.
Okay, so 11 tricks, you short 1. And where can you get an extra trick 1 from? I can only see one place where you might get a trick.
Yeah, it looks so. Let me see here.
It's not very light.
I have a feeling hearts can get me one trick.
Yeah, you got to have Jack 10 small in one hand. If the Jack 10 had dropped, the 9 of hearts would be good.
Yeah, I have a chance in hearts. I don't see much of it. I don't see any chance in spades,
No.
and
Okay.
I don't see anything in diamonds.
Right. Okay. So, as usual, when you've got these sort of situations, you say, well, maybe I can bring a squeeze into it to improve my chances. Because after all, this play in the heart suit is, like you're trying to drop the thing. The 9 would also be a threat if it doesn't drop. And the moment you hear the word threat, you say, oh, squeeze technique. So, what's the first thing you think of as squeeze technique if you're a person with 11 tricks wanting to play?
Yeah. So let me see. So I have two. Can I make? Okay. So two. I don't have anything. I think I can make the spade to a threat. Is that a possibility?
Yes, that's not at all you're doing. Don't forget, you haven't got the count. You have 11 tricks with 13 to play. Right? So not only do you want to lose a spade to set up the spade as another threat,
Yeah.
but you also want to do it in order to correct the count. So we have 11 tricks,
Oh yeah. Okay.
12 tricks to play. So for you certainly said the right thing. You certainly want to talk about the spade, but for not just the reason you said,
No.
but also because you want to correct the count. So for those two reasons, you're about to play the 2 of spades at trick.
2 of spade. Yeah. I need to rectify the count. So first, I just give it.
Okay. Right, okay, well, you're certainly going to win that one sooner or later. Now, what's the bad thing about our squeeze? Tell me about the threats you have.
Oh, the queen jack. So when he played the queen jack, I think West has the 10.
I reckon West has got the spade. I mean, he seems very keen to continue playing the spade.
Yes.
So I reckon he's got the spade control.
Yes, he has the spade
control. Spade guard, if you like. Okay. Do you want to put the 6 of spades on? Just get that out of the way. Right. Okay, Dave. But what type of threats do we have? Entry threats or single threats?
So I have the heart 2 threat in my hand, and in the dummy I can make the spade 4 as a threat, and I know West is guarding the spade, so I am going to hope, and if I can get a diamond 4 as a threat, that would be good.
Well, you won't ever be able to turn the diamonds into a threat.
I need to turn
a threat. A threat is a card that can only be beaten by one player, and the idea that only one player could beat your 7 of diamonds is remote, really.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. I lost my train of thought. I already said the 2 of hearts is a threat.
Well, you may as well keep the 9 rather than the 2.
Yeah, that's right. The 9 of hearts. Yeah.
Right, yeah. But what sort of a threat is it? Has it got an entry to it?
The clubs are gone, so the entry to that would be the diamond ace.
No. To be an entry threat, you have to have the entry card in the threat suit. Otherwise, it's a single threat. And single threats and entry threats allow different types.
Okay.
So, is it an entry threat or is it a single threat? Can you cross to the heart suit and cash the 9 of hearts? That's an entry threat.
Yeah, it's not an entry threat.
Even though you got the queen, if only you had an extra card in dummy, it would be an entry threat because you could cross to the queen and cash the 9. That's a single threat. Okay, what about the spade suit? What's the 4 of spades? Entry threat or single threat?
It's again a single threat.
That's right. Even though you got the ace of spades, you got nowhere right. Now, the thing about single threats is you can stop worrying about simple squeezes. If you have 2 single threats, there will be no way to pull off a spade heart squeeze because there's just no way to make the squeeze work and cross over to the other hand and cash your winner. So, in this situation, you're forced to look for the double squeeze as your only rescue plan. Okay? Now, for the double squeeze, you need 2 single threats, which you have You need them to be, well, they could be in either hand, but one is in the dummy, the 4 of spades.
Yes.
One is in your hand. So this is going to be the split threats, one in one hand, one in the other. And that's our new position where all we need is a central suit of ace small or king small to act as the central suit in a squeeze. And we seem to have that in diamonds, I think.
That's right.
Right, okay. So we certainly have the makings here of a squeeze. Now, do you remember the last condition for this squeeze to work? You've got to have the threats in separate hands, you've got to have a central suit, and you need the threats to be split and also over the guards.
Yeah.
Right? So now it's certainly looking good news in the spade suit, because it looked as though West has the spade guard, and that's good. We've got our threat, the 4 of spades, over the guard. I have no idea about the hearts. You're going to have to play that out, and I think as well get rid of that blocking ace of spades. I could be wrong about that, but okay. So
I'm going to get rid of the king. Now I'm going to play. I think I should play all the clubs and then see what.
It's normally bad news to leave an additional card which isn't an entry. So the ace of spades just gives them an
ace of spades.
Yeah, it just gives them a chance to hang on to a spare card, and then the squeeze isn't going
and then I have the diamond up.
I think so, yeah.
So
Okay.
Diamonds out.
Right, okay, so indeed he did have the threat, as we suspected. So spade threat over the spade guard. So now, well, let's check out the heart suit. Come back to hand and check out the heart suit, I think.
Yeah.
And you are keeping interest in your hand, I hope. Oh, perhaps it doesn't matter. I think it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's see what happens in the heart suit.
I'm going to throw a diamond. Yeah, that's right.
I don't think you've kept a winner you can set up.
Let me see what happened.
Remember, our objective is always...
okay, I should have... undo... Okay. So Queen Jack, so... I shouldn't have played the... I could have played
It would have been better to have got rid of the clubs earlier, but you're still okay, as long as you allow entries back to your hand to finish the squeeze off.
Yeah.
And again, you're throwing your winning card. You cannot set up the third round of diamonds if you throw your...
I'm confused. I cannot throw the spade, is that right? So,
that's right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, I can throw the club. Yeah, I can throw...
Of course you can throw the club, yeah.
I can throw the club, yeah. Okay.
Right. Ideally, you should have unblocked them earlier to... Okay, well, it's not clear, but we're hoping East has the last heart. Then we have the 9 of hearts over his heart, the 4 of spades over there. If we cash all our clubs, they should run into difficulties. Okay. Okay. And so really, you probably should have cashed ace king of clubs earlier to... So you overtake, and now your magic moment is about to happen. So come on, you'll surely want to go and see this at work.
I want to see this.
There you go. Right, so he's not going to show a spade. He knows the 4 of spades will be a winner. He's going to throw a nine. The spade threat has done its job. I have to keep the 10 of hearts in my east hand because I know you've got the 9 of hearts, so I will throw a diamond. And then
That is...
it suddenly turns out that your 6 of diamonds was the most useful card in your hand. Who would have thought when we started that that was going to be your final winning card? Okay, well done.
Thanks, Alan.
You're welcome. And everybody, that is it for the day. So nice to see you. We'll do some more practice next week. And then after that, well, basically, I was talking to Adam earlier, there are lots of other squeezes. There's crisscross squeezes, there's three-suit squeezes, or repeating squeezes, there's trump squeezes, there's compound squeezes, and there's probably other squeezes. And they're very rare, all except for the throw-in squeeze, which is a different sort of squeeze anyway. And I was saying, really, I don't see any point in doing them because you're probably only going to meet one in your lifetime. So I'm probably going to stop once I finish with the double squeezes. But there will be certainly one more and maybe two more because I thought probably what I should do is a set of these where you get used to the third one and then maybe a mix of squeezes to sort of remind you of all the features. Then probably call it a day because while I could teach you things, I'm not sure they're really very useful. Okay, bye-bye. And Adam, you doing announcements.
Thanks very much, Alan. And once again, all these lessons are recorded on YouTube, and if you want to find them, just go onto YouTube and search for Cedar's Squeezes, and you will find them all in my YouTube channel. They're all grouped together, and they also include Alan's excellent introductions, which are all short, less than 10 minutes each, and loads of hands that Alan and I have done together, one hand at a time.
Adam, I need to break in. My wife is having trouble and I need to go and rescue her.
No problem, Alan.
So thank you, everybody. Kat is in charge of the call. You can leave that up for the chat. I will, however, collapse the table.
No problem.
All right, and sorry I have to leave so suddenly.
Thanks again,
bye-bye,
Alan.
everybody.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Okay. So some Cookie's asking whether we can post links in the forum, and is well, yes, I'm sure we'll find some way of doing that. Yes. So I presume, Cookie, you're asking for the links to the videos. Well, let's assume that's what's wanted, so I'm sure we can get them posted into the forum. So thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you again next week. Bye.